Hi guys, welcome to the weekly live Sow and Tare. I'm Katrina, and please keep all comments family friendly. And if you can hear me, let me know. Hear and see me. Hopefully. So this is a live that happens every Monday, and I'm hoping that. Thanks, Steve. I'm hoping that you guys will be involved. And any questions you have, it's question answer. We can do comments you can do comments in the comment section. You guys talk amongst each other, and then any topic you guys want to bring up, go ahead. If we're talking about a particular topic and you want to talk about some other topic, then that's fine. Just go ahead and type it in, and we'll get to it. So homesteading related, quail related, there's a lot of quail people on here, gardening, rabbits, anything. So welcome, and let's get started. I have some news, but I'm going to wait for a little bit. Oh, Steve was here first. S.S. Swanson's greeting from the Magnolia State, Mississippi. I did not know that was Magnolia State. Is there anything you can do with magnolias? They're just these huge flowers, and they die really quickly. Maybe there's something you can do with them before they die. Anyway, I don't know. Hi, Aaron. Good evening, everyone. Hey, Steve. S.O. Swanson says, hey there, Aaron. I had to be sure to be there before you started taking attendance. I couldn't stand getting 2 demerits in 1 week. Man, you guys are funny. I don't even want to know how early you were there. Oh, okay. We're laughing at Aaron for something that happened last time. I'm not going to read everything for that, but if you missed last time, that's what they were talking about. Aaron says we are outside getting eggs. Oh, you're getting rain, huh? So what time do you guys collect your quail eggs? So that is a question that I know people have an issue with figuring out what time to collect them. In my area, they lay in the evening, and so I collect them after dark. I have light on them. Sometimes I collect them after their light goes out if I'm, doing other things. But I try and get out there while their light's still on, but towards the end of it. Hi, Verna. Verna is my moderator. Thank you, Verna. I appreciate it. She caught some stuff last time. Verna says, just the two I figured would be in here. Yes, Steve and Aaron. They're gung-ho. A great night for a chat. Evening, Verna. She says from cloudy Southwest Ohio. It was sunny today here, but I worked inside on the computer, so I didn't get to see much of that. Might take me a bit to get to you guys' comments. You guys were all here before I was. Ed says, I'm here, but I will just be listening while I fix my dinner. So hi, everybody. Hello, welcome. Glad to have you here. And Aaron's finishing up the homestead chores. No mushrooms for dinner. I don't know there must be a backstory to that I don't know. Oh, Verna's taking bread out of the oven. Hopefully it's some good bread. Oh, Aaron has bob white feet drying to hold rocks and gemstones. So I'm assuming you're going to do like necklaces and earrings. I have a bunch of Coturnix quail feet in the freezer for either dog treats or making jewelry. And I am wondering, do you skin yours? Do you skin the feet when you dry them? Because I was thinking about that, and I know that like when people make when people have chicken feet for chicken bone broth, they peel them first a lot of the time. So I don't know. I'm thinking not, but see what other people are doing. Verna is bringing fresh bread tonight. I'll grab an apple butter. Ooh. I have not made apple butter yet, but I have made pear butter, and it's really good. All it is pears. You cook it down, blend it up. There you go. Steve says, fancy, hold music. And here I am trying to close other windows to stop it. I don't know what that means. I thought you were going to talk about music for dinner. Oh, apple butter and fresh warm bread. Yes, that's a good combination. Everybody's hungry. Why are you doing this to us? Steve says, silly me, that music was a reminder on my phone in my pocket. So, fun story. I used to work for the Natural History Survey in Illinois as a seasonal person. And one of the guys there told a story about him changing his ringtone to an American widgeon call, which is a duck. It's a waterfowl. And he apparently had that in his pants pockets in his waders while he was hunting and was trying to find the American widgeon. It was not in the sky or on the water. It was in his waders. So you're not the only one that happens to. Yeah, Aaron, I don't really wonder what in the world is going on. I know who you guys are. It's okay. Gotta do something before I come on. Oh man, butter on fresh bread. Verna's having yum yum. Hey, my mom's here. Hi. Evening, folks. I'm back in Oregon and there's snow on the ground. So if you missed last week's, she was on in person, and we had a lot of fun times and laughing and went off topic and lost a baby quail and found it again. So go back and watch that one if you didn't watch that one. We had fun. Everybody's saying hi to my mom, Mary, and glad you made it home safely. And Verna says, glad you got snow, but they don't get like too much. I think it was when I was in 4th grade, we got it up to my knee. So however tall my knee was at 4th grade age, that's the tallest I've seen the snow there. So I don't know if you get, I think you get more snow than that, right, Verna? Yeah. You had snow the other day and it's gone. Everybody's saying hi. Oh, Gidro says, hey, Mama Krakow. Can we talk about meteors? I mean, we can. We might have exhausted the subject last week. I did not follow up to see if they had any of that. They were researching. What we're talking about is there was a meteor that may have hit a house and made it burn up, and in Eastern California. And yeah, I haven't followed up on that. If anybody followed up on that, I don't know. We can talk about it. Woman of Spirit, hello, welcome. Blessings, all you beautiful quail people, she says. And Verna saying, hey. Man, you're just eating up the bread, aren't you, Verna? Steve says, magnolias, they can be dried for sprinkling onto foods or using in place of ginger or cardamom things, but they aren't quite pungent, so it's not ideal for long cooking. Interesting. I did not know that, and we have magnolias around. I'm gonna have to look into that more and see. I might be picking up some petals off the ground. When I moved into my house, I bought it in 2013, and when I moved in, I already knew I would do it differently now, but I already knew I wanted to do basically like a food forest, tons of fruit trees and all of that. And so I was researching everything out there, and I was like, ooh, I wonder what spices I could grow. And I already knew that cloves was a flower bud. So if you didn't know that, they're the little spiky things with a ball. It's actually a flower bud. I believe that's before they open and they dry them. And so I was like, ooh, I wonder if I could do that. And so I looked it up. It's a tree. I don't think I need a whole tree's worth of cloves. I could do that now and maybe sell them. That would have been smart, huh? But I did not know that cloves come from a tree. So that was interesting. So going back to when we collect eggs, Steve says I collect at 9 to 10 p.m. I have some 9 p.m. layers. Awesome. When does your light go off? Because my lights are still on at like 10. Actually, I didn't change them for the time change, so they might not be anymore. That's cool. Yeah, I collect late as well, like that. Aaron says we usually go collect eggs around 7 p.m. We do have some late quail that wait until after egg pickup. Those are tomorrow's eggs. Yeah, I mean the only issues you come upon with that is if they're in an aviary setting. The only issues you have with that is they do poop, and the faster you get to them, the less poop you have to clean off. And so it's fine to let it go for a couple days. Just know that you're going to have to clean them a little bit more. And I mean, hardly ever does it get really, really poopy, but it can, if they're in a corner that they like to be in a lot or something like that. But it's no problem to leave it for a day or two or however many days you want to. Aaron says, Steve, I'll mark Katrina down as tardy. I was on the phone and then I had to go to the restroom. 1 minute. That's fine. And Verna says, bread is great. I usually gather in the morning, as I had one lay after midnight. Yeah, you don't want to wait for that. You can just do it in the morning. Yeah, and I think, Verna, you have rollouts, right? So if you have a cage rollout, it doesn't really matter what time of day you collect them. You're still going to get them, within 24 hours or you don't have to get them within 24 hours, but you're still going to get them that day or the next day. But with an aviary setting, they will bury them sometimes, and they will, sometimes poop on them too. So, and I don't believe they're burying them just to be burying eggs. I honestly think they're just digging a hole and it just falls in. But sometimes I'm like, where did I see them digging again? Oh, here it is. Have to dig up, that deep to get it. And as long as you know where the fresh digs are and where you've collected them before, and those are fresh, that's fine. If not, just know that when you open it. Set that aside for your eating eggs. Don't give that to anybody. Aaron says we are experimenting for the first time with skin on. It's Ed's idea. Yeah, I did. I actually started with a drill plucker, and it's a drill attachment that goes into your drill. And if you have a variable speed drill, it works really well. If you just have a drill that it's either on or off, then it's not great because it's going to go too fast. But you'll get the tricks into it of how to do that. And I did film one. I just haven't I haven't edited the video yet. But there is like a medium speed that works best. If you go too fast, then it tears the skin. And I did that for, I think, the first 2 or 3 butchers. It does take a little bit longer, but it's a good thing to do. It is a good thing to do. However, when you have a bunch of birds, it's pretty dang easy and fast to just skin them. And I found that I wanted to do that and try it and see how they cook and see how they, see how they cook up and see how they, if they're drier or not. And with the way I cook it, it's not drier. So I'm able to do that, I think, pretty well. And so, yeah, I would like to hear what your preference is, based on how much time it takes and also how much, the flavor difference and all of that. So that would be interesting to hear your opinion. Verna says, because I can. It's collecting eggs in the morning because she can. Yep. And you can because you have the egg roll out, and you can anyway. So Swan says, meteor and house fire. No proof, just a claim that it happened at the same time. All right. They're probably not going to find any more than that then. Yeah, Verna says you couldn't find that news. I think it was insurance fraud. I mean, it's a good claim. I wonder if the insurance is going to cover it. Hey, Kelly's here, Feathered Connections. Hey, I made it. Hooray. Welcome. Everybody saying hi to Kelly. Tickle Trunk is the name. One of the spirit says, I collect eggs at 4 p.m. and at 8 p.m. That way I do an extra nighttime check on them and talk to them. Yeah. So if you're already going into their area at those times, I mean, it's no big trouble to just pick up the eggs. So I think that's a good idea. And woman of spirit, do you have cages or aviary? I'm wondering. Steve says, my light goes off about halfway through collection. I've learned to carry a flashlight, not smart enough to change a timer. I will do a video on this. I have filmed most of it. Let me show you guys something. So when I did video, if you saw my early videos with the light all weird and the camera all weird, I've gotten better. When the light is all weird, sometimes what you're seeing is me, like with, especially in nest boxes for the rabbits, is me trying to use my phone and my camera and this and yeah, it doesn't work. So I was like, man, I wish I had a flashlight that fit on my wrist. So I looked on Amazon. It exists. So it lasts long enough for me to do the chores, and it has I'm not going to shine it like at there, but it has different settings and it has like a flashing setting and all that. So I recommend these because you have hands free when you're doing egg collections or when you're doing checking on your rabbits, where you have this dark area to check in. And so I recommend that. Yeah, I need to do that video soon so I can put the link in there because I don't have that readily available right now. But watch for that one. Linda, hey Linda. Tardy, but it's Aaron's fault. I'll believe that one. Hopefully you're doing well. Aaron says, setting up an aviary is on my list of projects. I just need more eggs. Talk to your wife about that one. Aviaries are great, and I like to be out there with them, and especially the deep litter method. I just think it's a good system. The deep litter is good for summer, it's good for winter. They just bury themselves in and they're insulated, and they just have a lot of fun. So you have more space than I do, so I would maybe look at my videos for the aviaries, and you can definitely improve upon that and make it bigger. And I would suggest, if you're going to have a plant in there or a tree in there, make sure that you can get all the way around it, because the one I have in there, I'm thinking I'm going to cut it down just because I can't get behind it very easily. It's kind of in the corner. It was there before the aviary was there. Another idea is to do like taller pots so you can grow stuff in them that they'll drape down and they can eat the bottom part, or maybe put chicken wire around the living portion and then the allowed to eat portion is hanging down. So that's my suggestion. I have mine. There's two of them. They're in small spaces and they work, but if I had more space, I would definitely make it, different. All right. Steve says, all mine are in the sandbox. All the eggs. Yeah, I have sandboxes in my aviaries, and some of them use it and some of them don't. I just think that there's so much good habitat outside of the sandbox in an aviary setting that they're not like drawn to the sandbox as a place to lay. And I think if you have it in a cage setup, it makes sense because it's like the best habitat in the cage setup to lay. So I think that that's one difference between a sandbox in the cage system or hutch system and a sandbox in a aviary system. So I think that's true. I don't know. Let's see. Aaron says, my ringneck pheasants are in an aviary and they bury the eggs. Yeah. My quail do as well. So that's something to think about when you're in there. But they basically bury them. So we say they're random, right? They just kind of poop them out wherever. But really, there's places that they like, and I look in the places that they like. Every once in a while there's a new place, but honestly it's kind of the same places every time. It just looks random because we're so used to chickens having nest boxes, you lay here. um it seems to me that there is a consistency throughout where they in the aviary. So I don't know if that's just mine or other people's or what. Everybody's saying hi to Linda. Hi, Linda. Verna says I've done a few plucking, but if I have a lot to cull, then it's skinning. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what my advice would be, just because it does take that little extra time. If you're doing 30 or 40 in a day, skin them. Because I can was about the bread, not about collecting eggs. Yeah, bread is good. I'm here. Dinner's done. Hey, Ed. Linda saying hi. Woman of Spirit says, I have 1 Winola Ranch 3-tier and 2 converted rabbit hutches set up in a U shape for ease of feeding and watering and cleaning. That's a great idea. Linda's saying hi back. Aaron says, counting down the days until we go visit Linda and Robert at Rock Hill Homestead this weekend. Awesome. Have a good visit. That sounds like fun. Verna says, I made my nurse giggle today when I whistled. The cooey answered. Yeah, I saw your live. I'm watching the replay. I'm halfway through it. Yeah, Verna whistles, and her cooey, which is the guinea pigs, answered. So you're having a relationship with them. That's good. They're talking back to you. Linda says, I'm a little afraid once Aaron sees how much unused space I have. Yeah, going to have you raise everything. It's okay. As long as you research your steps and know what you're doing, know how much effort you need to put into it, I say go for it. If you haven't done that yet, do it step by step. Bring enough eggs to fill up the space. Yeah, there's only, the incubators are only so big, Aaron. Thought yours were actually birds the other day. Oh, yeah, on her live. Yeah, Aaron saying how funny it is that they communicate back with you. They squeal for treats. That's good. Linda wants to know what kind of treats you feed for them. Steve says, I'm not pointing fingers, but we are 4 likes short. Uh-oh. Well, I see 10 people and 9 likes, so we're doing better. Maybe what they came to see hasn't happened yet. It's okay. But I do appreciate you guys liking them and sharing videos. It's awesome. All right, so I'm gonna say it's 6:25. I'm gonna share my news. So there's 2 newses. News. One is that yesterday was my channel's birthday, and so that is an awesome accomplishment, and I want to thank you guys all for contributing to that and making that happen. And so I've been on YouTube for 1 year and 1 day. It's been a nice journey. I've gotten better at videos, I feel, and like I said, I just wanted to thank you guys, and I forgot that that's when it happened. So that's news number 1. News number 2 is that I have been giving freebies of eggs to. So I have my small egg producer handler certificate, and so I have that number and all that, and so I'm allowed to sell, legally sell sell eggs to restaurants and to people. And so I've been giving away freebies to restaurants, and I just made my first delivery. It was 3 dozen eggs, so it's starting small, but he wants to put things as a special and see if anybody wants it. And so I made that first delivery today. So that is another milestone for me. So I think that's really cool. I'm going to be continuing to do that. And he also wants some pet quail. So I told him, I have babies. They're 2 weeks old. We need 1 more week, maybe a week and a half. Then I can get you some babies. So, so that was a pretty cool interaction, and there was very positive experiences. I went to, I think it was 9 or 10 different places, and 2 places just didn't want any. Like, they didn't want to talk. They didn't want free quail eggs. They didn't want anything. And so that was really weird. But everybody else was very, very interested and very, we had lots of good conversations. There was a few owners that they had some interest, but they're like, okay, I'll have my chef look at it. Like, they weren't really that interested, but were interested enough to share that with their chef and make a decision based on the chef. So I think that that has some merit. I think if you're not a chef, you should talk to your chef. But I think it's an awesome step for me. And everybody else besides the 2 that I talked with, they were all interesting and at least paying attention. I don't know that everybody is going to get eggs. Probably not. I don't know what percentage to shoot for. But in doing that, in just getting myself out there and giving freebies, and I also gave the egg scissors. I had 3 more potential customers in different areas. So, not in the restaurant area. So one would be the owner of one of the restaurants. He wanted some pet quail. So I'll be working with him for that. And then the second one is there was a lady who overheard me, and her son can't eat chicken eggs, and she wanted to know if I had duck eggs. And I said, well, a lot of people who can't have chicken eggs can have duck eggs, or can have, a lot of people that can't have chicken eggs that can have duck eggs can also have quail eggs. And I do. So I gave her a card. Hopefully she'll call and get some eggs. And then the other person was someone who I spoke with, and he was actually I said, have you ever had quail eggs? And he said that he's only heard of giving your dogs them, which I immediately knew what that meant. It meant that he's looking into raw food for his dog. So I talked with him a little bit about that as well. Told him about, humans can have them too. I don't think he didn't know that the humans can have them too. He just hadn't had them. But that was a conversation starter. And so hopefully he'll kind of do his own research and call me for some raw dog food. So, and raw dog food could be eggs. It could be, quail. It could be lots of different things. It could be rabbits. I don't know that he wants to pay that much for rabbits, but for his dog. But anyway, so that opens up a lot of opportunities. And so I want to encourage you guys that if you're wanting something, to go after it. And this is something that I want. This is something I want. I've been thinking about for a long time, and just needed to make sure I got through the process for the egg handlers in California. So I don't know if anybody here is from California or lives in California, but in California, you need an egg handler certificate, egg producer, egg handler certificate. And that process is pretty well defined for chickens. And it's the same process. The process of getting it is the same for chicken and quail. But the actual doing of like selling and what your labels need to be and all of that, everything is about chickens. So they don't even have like a separate thing for quail or for ducks or anything that's not a chicken. They kind of don't even talk about. So I'm lucky in that the person who is in charge for state of California is very responsive and looks up, he basically told me everything I need to know. It's been taking, I have one more question out there for him that he's looking up or looking into, but is basically having a good relationship with those people. And I mean, I'm just lucky that he's responding, and I've heard nightmares from other states of people not responding at all. So anyway, so there's my news. And I will go back up because I know I missed some stuff. Where were we? Okay, Verna's talking about her guinea pigs, the cuy. Cabbage, celery, carrots, loose leaf lettuce, same things you would give to a quail is what they eat is for treats. Aaron saying, yay, congrats. Thank you. Women's Spirit says, congratulations on 1 year. Thank you. Happy birthday. Is that a birthday cake? It's a birthday cake. Thank you, Verna. Manuel says, hello, I'm late, but I'm here. He actually just walked in the door. Hi. Everybody's saying hey. And Aaron says, that's so awesome. You go. Says Verna. Linda says, awesome. Congrats. Big steps. It is a big step. Steve says, egg sale, great. Yeah. Yeah. It makes me feel good. And I know it's just one and he's just trying it, but I hope that is a good starting point. I mean, they're super busy restaurants. So if there's any want, I'm sure they're going to do it. Manuel says, hello, guys. Good to see you guys here. Everybody's saying hello. Ed says, hit up some Asian restaurants. Yes, I have a bunch of those on my list for later this week. And I mean, I have lists of all sorts of things. Yeah. Thank you, though. Aaron says, LOL, I was commenting about scissors when you said that. So I actually have them on the table here. I know that several of you already know what this is, but there might be people watching who don't know. Just a minute. I have some quail egg. Well, okay. So these are quail egg scissors. Also pigeon egg scissors or pheasant egg scissors, and you can see that this edge is beveled. It has an angle on it. That goes on the top of it, which is the big end. And you basically put that there. You press down just a little bit. If you don't press down at all, it'll just slip up. But you press down just a little bit and chop off the top. Super, super easy. And then you just pour out the egg, like super easy. They're relatively cheap. I got a bunch of them on Amazon because I was giving them out. I'm giving them out with my quail eggs because I think in order for someone to try it appropriately, they have to be easy to open. No one's going to buy them at a busy restaurant if they're not easy to open, right? I'm just closing the bag here. So if they're easy to open, I think they're more likely to do that. If they're not easy to open, I don't think. I think that someone who is not already knowledgeable about quail eggs or used them before would probably go, this is too much trouble, even if they tasted great, right? Yeah. Verna says, Lucy had a frozen whole quail for breakfast today. I'm sure she loved it. Ed says, how she like it frozen. And Verna says, Ed, she loves it better when it's frozen. Yeah, there's more chewing. I mean, dogs like to chew, right? Essa Swanson says, it's hard to find niche restaurants, especially always higher end places. I had thought of getting pictures of fancy plates of quail and or eggs to start them thinking. Yeah, something that I probably should have brought up when I was giving out the free ones is Scotch eggs. That's something that people do and you can make ahead of time and heat up, or have ready and make. That would be something that restaurants might do that's considered fancy, but is kind of easier to do, in mass. So like if you have all the eggs peeled already and you put them in the refrigerator, you can do those pretty quickly. If you do your prep right. So yeah. So that's one thing I forgot to mention because it's something that either people know or they're like, oh, I've heard of that. What is that again? Yeah. All right. Time and Timber. Hi, Jasmine. She says, hello, friends. Finally able to join in. We are enjoying our first snow of the season. Awesome. Hopefully you get just the right amount. I don't know what amount you want, but just the right amount. Everybody's saying hi. Uh-oh, Ed says so sorry. Well, snow might be good. It's pretty. As long as it doesn't become ice on the road, you're okay. Woman of Spirit says, I pack a small cooler with quail eggs and take with me wherever I go. I open the bag so people can see the eggs. Many times people buy eggs. Yeah, and that's why I took them with me. I didn't go in with I should have also had a pamphlet. I did not. I should have also had a pamphlet. But I went in with eggs and I showed them how to open them. I didn't actually open them, but I put it there and then say you just do it like that and pour it out. And yeah, if you have the eggs in hand, people are curious about them. One place I have to go tomorrow because the owners are going to be tomorrow, but the lady who I talked with, before I said anything, she goes, "Oh, how cute!" And so that, having that reaction is good. Oh, it's cute. Oh, it's nice. Look how tiny it is. Whatever. Those are good reactions to have. So that's a good idea. Time and Timber saying hi to everybody. Aaron says, "Wish we had snow." Aaron, does it ever snow where you are? He's in Louisiana. Steve says, "No, Aaron. If you get it, then I'm in trouble." Then you'll get it too, huh? Linda says, "Hush, Aaron. It was cold and rainy all day. Gross." Now I have a metal roof. I don't know if it's tin, but metal roof, the corrugated metal on my screen and porch, and I love that sound. Like if I have time and it's not like when I'm working and all that, I can go in the porch when it's raining and drink some tea, read a book, and I enjoy that. I enjoy that sound. Yeah. Feather Connections says, happy channel birthday. Thank you. So happy for you. You do a great job and excited to learn from you in Quail for Profit. Thank you. Yeah, so that is another actually that's my third thing. So I have been I'm going to be an admin in the Quail for Profit Facebook group, and also which Kelly from Feather Connections is also in, and as is Brandon from Whiskey Tatum Farms. And then I'm also going to be with Jasmine with Time and Timber for the Self-Sufficient Quail group. So that's a lot, and I'm excited to be part of those. It's awesome. Thank you. Time and Timber says, hubby fell off ladder today at work and hurt his ankle, a bad sprain. So I had a few extra chores on my plate tonight beyond homesteading. We tag team a lot on the homestead and with house chores. Yeah. Well, I hope that he's resting, and I have sprained more than 2 ankles. Figure that one out. I play volleyball. I've played volleyball for a long time, and I've sprained ankles with that. I've sprained ankles with other things. That's a sport that has a high ankle spraining percentage, I guess. And so I recommend icing it 20 minutes, heating it 20 minutes, icing it 20 minutes, and you can go back and forth and end with ice. I'm not a doctor. You don't have to listen to me. I just have sprained ankles before. And then also Epsom salt baths help. Those are my recommendations, and I hope that he is not in too bad a shape. I walk on mine after spraining them. Sometimes they tell you not to, some tell you to. So I don't know. I've always walked on it just to keep it loose. But I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical specialist, even though I had a stethoscope in the video today. So I hope he's feeling better soon. Another thing is once it feels better, it's not done healing. I had a doctor tell me once that for a bad sprain, that sprains don't heal they take about 3 months to heal completely. So yeah, make sure he does not do things past that limit. Yeah, so Verna says the same thing. Oh, Jasmine, hope you have tons of Epsom salt for his ankle. Yeah, and I actually have a video of that I did. There was a baby bunny last year that got caught in a hay feeder. I don't even know how, but I went out there, it was dangling from its back leg, and I totally thought the leg was broken. And all I could think to do was to give it, an Epsom salt bath and do, move its leg back and forth and do massage and stuff. And it actually did heal. Epsom salt is amazing. And at the time, I also had a sprained ankle. So we had, I didn't take a bath with the rabbit, but we were experiencing the same things, treating in the same way at the same time. So I do have a video on that. I think it's called Hurt Baby Bunny or something like that. Yeah. And Ed says, oh no, hope he gets better soon. Glad that's all that happened to him. Yeah. Yeah. Falling from a ladder is, I guess that's, that's the good injury, I guess. Yeah. Aaron says, are you also offering quail balut? Aaron, I will if somebody, so I want to approach people with hatching eggs. So there are also different labeling rules in California for labeling balut than there is labeling hatching eggs and eating eggs. Actually, I don't think they even gave me any labeling requirements for hatching eggs. They all for eating. And you have to say like they're embryos. Like you have to use the word embryo on the label. I don't know. Yeah, so I've never had them. I've never seen them except for on videos like Verna and Brooke made to challenge us to eat different foods and eat the foods that we grow. And so I would definitely do that if someone had interest in it and I could bring it up. I just haven't ever actually done it. So not beyond the realm of possibility. I don't know how to say that. Gidrose, hey, says, hope your hubby gets to feeling better soon, Jasmine. Yes. Hope he heals up soon. Yeah, just make sure that once he feels better, he's not better. Just make sure he knows that. Verna says, when you go to the Asian places, take some balut with you and give them a few fury balutes. Yeah, I have not done that. So I don't feel I'm there yet. And maybe I am there, but I'm not there yet. Yeah. Does anybody have any info on smoking eggs? Yes. So one of the places that I dropped eggs off at, which the owner was going to be back on Wednesday, so he said to come on Thursday or Friday. I told the manager, I said, I said, do you guys have a smoker? And he says, yes, because it's a barbecue place, right? They have a smoker. And I said, I have never done this or had this, but I've heard that smoked quail eggs are wonderful. And I want to know what you think of them if you smoke them. So, so people do that. And I haven't seen the comments yet. I don't know how long or anything. But I know that sometimes people crack them slightly and you can get color from the smoke on the egg, which I think would be a pretty cool selling point just to see that, because it looks neat. Verna says, yes, Mary, you just hard boil them, peel them, and put them in the smoker. I didn't know if you had to. My understanding was that they were cooked in the smoker, but I don't know anything about smoking. So somebody can correct me. Yeah, Linda says, yep, we have a metal roof, great for rain, bad for Wi-Fi. You just need to connect everything to your roof. You have a big antenna, right? Aaron says, Mary, I smoked chicken eggs before, 2 hours at 200 degrees. So, Aaron, did you do that raw or did you hard boil them first? Ed says, Mary, YouTube is your friend. They don't have a smoker. I don't think they're going to do that. But you can watch it. Time and Timber says, oops. What did you say? You went away. You didn't go away. Thanks, guys. He appreciates the well wishes. Thankful it wasn't worse, and I am thankful I'm strong enough to do all the heavy-duty chores, like bringing in logs and loading the wood stove, our main heat. Yeah, something you might think about, and I don't know, I know it gets cold where you are, but I don't know your situation of how your house is set up. But my parents have it's like a wood box that's, it's really neat. You open the door from inside, there's an insulated door, and you open it, and outside is the wood box. It's right up against the house. It's elevated off the ground. And that way you can just fill the wood box in good weather and then have your wood for whenever, and you don't even have to leave the house. It's right. It's like right near where the fireplace is. So that can be a project for him when he gets better. I hear he builds things. It's an idea. I like it. It was nice. Linda says, "Oh no, Jasmine, thankful it wasn't worse. I hope he heals well." Yes. Steve says, "You can do them in the shell, though. I don't know how the flavoring gets through the shells." Well, I mean, air gets through the shells, right? They're and through membrane. I mean, that's how the oxygen exchange works. So it's a semi-permeable thing. So yeah. Time and Timber. Jasmine says, "I'm lucky to have you on my self-sufficient quail team, Katrina." Thank you, Jasmine. Yes, I'm excited about that. Yeah, she says, "Yep, icing on the hour for 20, 30 minutes, homeopath." And yeah, and I can't even say that. Medicine. Epsom salt. I am an ankle sprain veteran myself. You know why? Because you're female. Females have more sprained ankles than males, especially during puberty. There's things that happen that makes the ankles unstable during that time. Now you know more weird things. Aaron says, "I'm so excited to be a group expert in self-sufficient quail." Woohoo! Yes. Welcome. Verna says, "I graduated from newbie to join Cuz on the quail call." Awesome, Verna. Great job. And also great job too, Steve. That's who Cousin is. Time and Scissor says, "You bring a lot to self-sufficiency group, Aaron." Yeah, he does. Verna says 12 days in the incubator is all it takes. Yeah, for the balut. Yeah, I have right now. I'm holding eggs for incubation to do another round of jumbos for meat. So maybe after that I might try it. Yeah. Let's see. Maybe I should just do it. Maybe I should just do after that, because you don't need incubator space for that. I mean, you don't need breeder space for that. So maybe I'll do that. I mean, maybe that's a good way to do it if you have a customer, is to, and I only have one incubator. I mean, you could buy another one, but if you only have one incubator, incubate for your brooder, and then incubate for balutes, and then incubate for your brooder, and then incubate for balutes. That would be probably a perfect timing. I think that would work pretty well, because it takes a little more than 2 weeks to do the incubation process, and almost 2 weeks to do balut, and that would give some time. Yeah, I think that maybe I'll do it. I don't know. We'll see how the egg things go. I have some time to figure that out in the next couple of weeks while the incubator is busy. I have 2 more days, and then I'll start incubation. I think it's 2 more days. I think I'm 5 days in. Yeah, I think it's 2 more days. Aaron says, "Raw eggs with the shell on, of course." Yeah, you don't want to do this in the incubator or in the smoker. Yeah, I thought it was done raw. They did tint brown slightly. I cheat and smoke on a pellet grill. I mean, I'm sure you could do it in the barbecue too. It would just, like, if you have barbecue with the upper shelf. Yeah. quail eggs or chicken eggs, Aaron. We have a pellet grill. He said he did chicken eggs, but you could do quail eggs. Steve says, guess I'll smoke it both ways. I do have access to a pellet grill. Man, we're going to be smoking eggs. I don't know. Aaron says, I've done chicken eggs before. Quail eggs don't last long around here. They get eaten, hatched, or sold. Right. Verna says, what I do, Katrina, is I fill my incubator up. Then at day 12, I candle and remove the balutes that are being sold. Then the rest incubate to hatching. Yeah, that's a good idea too. That's a good idea. There's so many different ways to do it. And there's so many different ways to calendarize things. Calendarize is a word now. I think I just made it up. There's so many different ways to do that. And I think that that's a great way as well. Because then if you don't have any customers, you just keep incubating and then raise them. Yeah. So I think that's a good idea. Time and Timber says, I start a new batch in the incubators tomorrow. Quail meat is a fave around here. Yeah. So I most recently, and I don't know why I haven't filmed this. I've done it 3 times so far, but I just recently did made quail steamed. That was actually when my parents were here, and it turned out really good. That was the 3rd time I did it. I mean, I knew it was going to turn out good, but steamed. So you could do it in a broccoli steamer too, but I did 4 quail, so I had them in one of those. I don't know what it's called. The spaghetti strainer thing, if you boil noodles and you pick up the whole thing inside the pot. Anyway, I did it in that. It's what we do artichokes in, and seasoned it. So you could either marinate it and do that, or season it and do that. And it was only 20 minutes, I think, and it was cooked. So, and tender. So that's a good way to do it. My favorite way of cooking it is in the car, of course. And if there are new people watching, there is a video of this and cooking in your car. And I've done, let's see, I think the videos I've done today are, we did cookies was the first one, because that's the one I've done that for years on your dashboard. Cookies, we did croissants out of the little tube, and I've done rabbit and quail on the dash as well. And I was a little concerned, oh, is it going to work with meat? But there's a reason why you don't leave your loved ones in your car when it's hot. So, yeah, you watch those videos. It's pretty cool. All right. And Linda says, Robert is worried we won't have enough outlets to get rid of eggs, meat, birds. I don't think we will, but we'll eat good if nothing else. Yeah. Yeah. There's always people who want these things, and it's just whether you're going to do it, if you're permitted or not permitted, or there's some on-farm exceptions, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of what the rules are here for that, because I think there are on-farm exceptions where people come to your farm and buy meat, but I don't know at this point. I know there would be a liability thing, but I'm not advising anybody of that because I do not know the answer yet. Sweet potatoes did not work on the dashboard. We tried it for 2 days in a row, kept the same sweet potato, put back in, and I think it's probably just too dense. So you cross that off your list of not trying or of trying. Linda says he doesn't understand how much I'm learning from all of you. It's YouTube University. Sign up. It's free. Yeah, the only thing I would say is, and this includes myself, if you hear someone say something online and you're going to try it, check more sources, because someone who has been doing something one way for years might be doing it wrong. I might be doing something wrong. If I'm doing something wrong, please tell me. But I would just make sure that if it's something new that might be dangerous, check your sources, make multiple checks of sources, find some trustworthy people and triangulate. It's just smart because the internet, you can put anything on the internet, right? Yeah. So Verna says, Linda, you probably have more outlets than you haven't found. Yeah. Yeah. And Verna says, yes, Katrina, those cooked in the car looked great. All that broth. Yeah. So that's something that is beneficial cooking in the car. The way I did it, cooking in the car, and you're going to have to see it to know what I did. So go ahead and look at that. You get all the juices, and there's so much juice that comes out of the birds when you cook them, or rabbits, or you probably do any meat. There's so much juice that comes out of it when you cook. And it's amazing. It's the same thing that happens with the pressure canning. There's so much just broth that comes out of it, and it just goes away. If you're just cooking that in the oven, it just goes away, or if you're steaming it, that just, it goes into the water that you're steaming it in, and it gets diluted. So yeah, it's an excellent way to do that, but you can only do that in the summer, or when it's hot. It doesn't have to be that hot. I don't know how hot it would have to be for meat, but yeah. Yeah. Aaron says, yesterday we moved a bunch of quail from grow out cages to laying cages. Awesome. I think my favorite quail right now are the Egyptians. Christina is keeping me on track to separate into color groups. Yeah, so the Egyptians, I used to have only jumbo Egyptians and jumbo wild, and I like them both. The Egyptians were slightly smaller. They seem to be a little bit more calm, and again, that's probably just the genetics that I have with them. It's not relative to the whole thing, but they were just a little smaller than the other ones. And so when I picked my next breeders, I just picked the largest ones, and they happen to all be wild. Now, whether there's some Roo gene in them that will come out later, I don't know, but it's fine. I'm okay with that. I just keep the biggest ones for breeders, and as they say, breed the best and eat the rest. Hopefully that's not the first time you've heard that. I have no idea who coined that, but it wasn't me. Berna says, try sweet potato wedges. That might work. Yeah, so getting something smaller might work. Well, you'll have to remind me that next summer because we're not doing it right now. Yeah. Ed says, get your master's degree at UTU. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things you can learn on YouTube there's an amazing amount of knowledge on YouTube. It's awesome. Yeah. Verna says, and I need to talk to you about canning pickled quail legs. Pickled quail legs. I've not canned any pickled meats, but we can talk about it. We can look through it. And it might just be that you have to can it like you would meat in a pressure canner. But I don't know. I would direct you, and I'll work with you on this, but I would direct you to the National Center for Home Food Preservation. Food preservation. I can spell. So they have a website. It would have been more helpful for me to have a website. It's okay. They have a website that is all about the accepted and tested canning of food. So some things are not on there or are not accepted because of actual health issues like botulism or other health things. And some of it is on there. Some things are not approved just because they haven't tested them yet. So you can go in there and look around and see if something's not there. They might have an actual reason for it. So like pickled eggs. Pickled eggs, you are not supposed to store as a shelf-stable food. You can store them in the refrigerator, I would say that you could probably store them if your pantry, like root cellar, is below, is refrigerator coldness. I would be comfortable doing that. But it is something that has a botulism history. So you have to think about it. Is it worth it? Right. And then also acknowledge that things that are sold in the grocery store are canned in a different way than what we have available to us at home. And that's just a fact, Yeah. So it has to be pressure canned. Yeah. I would just pressure can it under the, going back to the quail legs is what we're saying. I would pressure can it under the instructions for chicken and rabbit. And so that's basically all poultry and all rabbit, under those with bone in. So there's different times for bone in and if it doesn't have a bone. And I would just time it. When in doubt, go for the longer time. So it should give you a pint time and a quart time. And also make sure that the pressure is correct for your elevation. So those are the variables. I think that's all you need, and you can do that. But yeah, do the chicken canning quail is the same as canning chicken or turkey or rabbit or pheasant, any of the birds or rabbits, which apparently are birds because they lay Easter eggs. Come on. Yeah, Verna, can't you freeze dry it? You could, but you could also can it. Yeah. Oh, my dad. Hi. It says here's a website for food preservation. Yeah, you can't post it, but Verna got it for you. Thank you. Yeah, only the moderator and the person doing the video can post links. But thank you for trying. And hello, welcome. Yeah, so Verna's saying, of course you can freeze dry it. It's others that can't. Yeah. Yeah. She's asking for other people. Yeah, thank you for the link, Verna. And Woman of Spirit says generally pint of recooked, pre-cooked. Yeah, pint of pre-cooked meat is 75 minutes. I've canned for years, but I wouldn't know about pickling. Yeah, so I know I think it is different for bone in and not bone in, but she would have to also then take into account her elevation. But yeah, that's what it is for me. It's 75 minutes and 75 minutes for pints and quarts are 90 minutes, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, asking so it can be in the Everything Pickled cookbook. Yeah. If you're pressure canning it, I would pressure can it like you were pressure canning it with a bone in. It could be maybe a hot pack. I don't know. Yeah. Aaron says pressure canning where I fail at homesteading. We have all the equipment, but we are still scared. I think we have read too many horror stories. Aaron, I have a lot of videos on pressure canning. I have not made a beginner video yet, but basically, as long as you follow the directions and the National Center for Home Food Preservation, as long as you follow those directions, which I followed on my videos, always double check canning videos with that link, then you should be fine. Pressure canning, the most important things are that you have enough pressure, that you keep the pressure, so that the pressure is the right pressure for your elevation, that you pressure can long enough, which is on that website. You can get the book too if you want to write notes. It's not that expensive. It's the same exact stuff that's on the website. It just doesn't get automatically updated because it's a book. I have the book, so I can make notes in it and bookmark things. I know it's like $10 or $15 or something like that. And so maintaining the same pressure, if it drops below the pressure that you're supposed to have, you just have to start over. And that's just how it is. you start over. You start your time over. You don't have to start over. You just bring it back up to pressure, wait for that first rattle, and then that is your first, if you're going for 75 minutes, you start at 1 minute there and do 75 minutes. So you basically spend the day in the kitchen and do that. Something you can start with that's easy is a soup. You start with a soup and that's easy. If you want to, what I would do is can water. So especially if you have the Harvest Guard lids or the Tatler lids that you can reuse, which you do need to heat every time, even if it is a cold pack, you do need to heat those every time. And I add a little bit of vinegar into the water when I do that because we have hard water. If you don't have hard water, you don't have to do that. But when you can water, you have sterile water. And you can have it for emergencies, and you can have it for medical treatment, and you can have it for whatever. Or you can have it for, hey, I'm making rice and I can these random jars of water. I need to use them. Put it in there. Now, better thing to do is put broth in there instead. But can water, because you're not going to mess that up. You don't have to pressure can water. If you're canning water, you can water bath can it. Start off with that and see how it goes. You check everything, check it again. You can can more water. The only thing you would be wasting is lids if you don't have reusable lids. And you can even for that purpose, you can reuse lids and just put reused lids on those things that you're practicing on. Then you're not wasting anything. So that's my recommendation, is to do that. To can water. There you go. People walk in, you're like, oh, what are you cooking? Water. Yeah, that is my recommendation. Where it says, with modern pressure canners, less apt to explode. Yes, so you do want to look through. Erin, what type do you have? Do you have an All-American? Or I only know All-American because that's what I have, but I know about the other ones, like Presto. But there's a hole where the pressure comes out. You want to look through that before you put it on. Make sure your seal is even around the outside, and clamp it down. And they're not going to explode on you if that is open and you have your release, like there's a emergency release thing, it will go through that instead of blowing up. So here's a condition. How old is your pressure canner? If you have a really old one that doesn't have those safety things, get a a newer one. But if it's not like super old, like as long as a pressure canner, not a pressure cooker, and it actually is a pressure canner that is up to date, then practice with water and you'll be fine. Yeah, Steve says the fear of pressure canning based on horror stories. Yeah, and those horror stories are from people who are using old canners for the most part. The stories are basically the top explodes off and all of that. That's if your steam part is blocked, then yeah, you're gonna have pressure build up. The ones now, one, always check that, and two, if you have, you should have that the other thing that will pop up and pop out, the plug, and that's a safety thing that they've added. So yeah. One of Spirit says, don't be scared. Make sure a little steam vent hole is clear. Yep. It won't blow up. Steve says, I pressure canned some beans for soup my first time. They were good and tender, and my kitchen did not explode. Yep. Yeah, they're good. Thanks, guys. So now you better by next week, you better have canned water. That's your assignment. Anybody who has pressure canner that hasn't used it yet, your assignment is to can water. And I mean, it's going to be, run it for whatever you're going to can next. Run it like it's that, and you'll be good. My mom says next freeze dry water. I don't know about that. I mean, is this the Emperor's New Clothes? Is that what you're trying to do? Oh, freeze-dried pickles are great. Nice. Yeah, sweet or dill, she wants to know. Either, but I only do dill, zesty dill. Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds really good, actually. Like a little chip. Aaron says it's a Presto pressure canner, only 2 years old. We have water bath canned in it. Yeah, so that doesn't count. That doesn't count. Yeah, use it. So if you have, my understanding for Presto is that you have, do you have a jiggler, the one with the weight? So you should either have that or you have to go by the dial. And I'm going to recommend a channel. She is the queen of canning, and I totally trust her. So if you, and she does have Presto and All American, but if you go to her channel and look up her Presto, she does have some Presto canning videos. Presto is the brand of canner. All American is the brand of canner that I have. They're both good things. All American, you don't have to replace gaskets and you don't have to worry about a lot of those things, but they're both good. So I would recommend that. Let's see. Well, I'm saying about something. The maybe the dill pickles. Steve says, "Don't pressure can in the kitchen while you are in the barn." Yes, once the pressure cooker is on or pressure canner is on, you are to be in the kitchen, and you can watch YouTube videos if you want. But you need to pay attention to either the dial gauge. If you have a jiggler, it's a weight that goes on there. You can do everything by ear. You can hear it going, and you'll know that it's the right thing. If you have a dial gauge, it should be, I guess you can do it at an extension office, but it should be checked every year for accuracy and calibrated. That's something you don't need if you have that jiggler. At that point, you don't pay attention to the pressure gauge dial at all, unless you are waiting for the pressure to go all the way down. Then you just wait for it to all go down. So that's, yeah. So those are the issues. Those are the issues. Yeah, stay in the kitchen. Exactly. Ed says, from what I hear, is you need to rinse the pickles or they end up super salty. That makes sense. My first time, wow, we're way past 7, but that's okay. My first time making, I think it's called muyuk. It's a Japanese soup with made with seaweed. My first time doing that, I did not soak the seaweed and rinse it nearly as long as I should have, and I realized that after the fact when it was super salty. Oh, you go for the salty? Yeah, Berna goes for a salty. Aaron says, I'll have to make a fire to pressure can in the doghouse. It says, sadly, I'm not allowed to have salt, so I have some dill pickles soaking in fresh water. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a salt person, but I like dill pickles. That's good. Verna put the link for Sutton's Days. Thank you very much. She's the person I go to if I'm have questions with things. And she's awesome. Then you freeze dry cucumbers, Ed. Yeah, you could do. I would imagine you could grind up some pickle spice and put that on a cucumber and freeze dry it. That would be interesting to see how that would turn out. Not the same. How do you know, Ed? You just gotta put the spices on there. One of the Spirit says, make sure you use the correct amount of water in the pressure canner, then put the jars in. Yes. So you should have your instruction booklet for that Presto canner. If you don't, look it up online. I'm sure that you can find it. And it will tell you either how many inches to put in or how many liters of water to put in. And if you are canning something hot, it should be hot or warm. If you're canning something that's raw pack, it should be room temperature water and that you start with. So Yeah, I need to do a video on that. Yeah. Linda says, I love Sutton's Days. I bought cranberries tonight to can with her recipe. Yeah, she's awesome. Erin says, thanks, Verna. I went to subscribe to watch while at work. You watch a lot of stuff at work. I don't know. Good thinking. Ed says, okay, I have not put the spices on yet. Yeah, well, then you're just eating a cucumber. You got to put the spices on. Yeah, so I guess the takeaway from the most recent conversation in here is to can water, and next week tell me how it went. That's what I would like to know. What was the other question? Oh, somebody smoke a quail egg and see how that goes. Maybe try doing it not cracked and try doing it just cracking the surface and see if you get the colors. There you go. All right, guys, it is 7:17. I was only going to go to 7. So maybe give a couple more minutes. Let's see, 7:20, I'll log off. How about that? Verna says, I'm going to make potato chips in the freeze dryer using cheddar cheese sprinkles and with some jerk seasoning. Awesome. Is the cheddar cheese sprinkles the ones that you made yourself? Because I know you freeze dried cheese. That would be good. Yum. Yum, Linda says. I haven't had dinner yet. And I have tea that I don't even think I've drinking any. Aaron says, I'll smoke some on Wednesday. I have basketball practice with Lane tomorrow. His coach is a real jerk. Aww. Ed says, where do you get rolling papers that big? And what? Oh, not that. Ed, no. That's not what I meant, and you know it. One with Spirit's going to dehydrate Dill's pickles and then powder them to use on popcorn. That sounds good. Yeah. Dill pickle seasoning. There's some uses for that, isn't there? Yeah. Seasonings I've made is like if I make a broth that's a vegetable broth, and then you take the solid one, you can blend that in and it's actually really good, and it can still count as a broth kind of in the canning world because it's still watery enough. It doesn't have a density issue. But if you are taking it out, you can dehydrate that and crumble that up, powder that up, and have that as a seasoning as well. So that's good. My mom is laughing at you, Ed. Ooh, that's a great idea. Yeah, now you have popcorn. Oh, Gidra says Aaron and his coach. Apparently there's some history there that we don't know. It's okay. Verna's starting her Christmas presents in the freeze dryer. Yeah, that's a good idea. I saw some of the things you held up in your video. It's pretty cool. Cecil Swanson says Ed Zigzag is your friend. I don't know what that is, except for it is a town. It's a town, Niven town in Oregon. Zigzag. I think it had like 9 people or something like that. So Aaron is a jerk, Verna says. One of the Spirits says, great informative chat tonight. Thanks, everyone. Blessings all around. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate your contribution. Ed Got Bait says, when I go to the movies, I put a bunch of jalapenos in the popcorn. Yeah, I like jalapenos. I like spicy as long as spicy has flavor, because some spicy doesn't have good flavor. One of Steve says, one of a Spirit that would save me so much money over buying the already made at the store. A family favorite flavor. Steve, that is hard to say. My mom says you're so innocent to me. Maybe I am. Aaron says, when with Spirit, how long do you dehydrate them for? We made pickles this spring. Yeah, that's a good question. And dehydration is different based on your humidity. So like if I dehydrate and it's out and it's more humid out, like in the winter, and it's rainy, then it takes a little longer. And if it's not, then it's shorter. But I'm also in a drier climate. So if you're in a humid climate, it might kind of equate. I don't know. Zigzag makes post rolling papers. Okay. Well, it's a town in Oregon. That's what I know. Oh, most, not post. Oh boy, you guys are silly. Dehydrate till crisp, about 5 hours for Moment of Spirit in regards to the dill pickles. How thick do you do it? You got to do the thickness too. Yeah. Freeze dryer stops those problems. Not everybody has one, Verna. Oh, there is a special through Black Friday for freeze dryers. And so I guess I should say that. And it's past 7:20, so you guys are the ones that get to hear all about this. Not everybody has one yet. Yeah, I know, Steve. So there is a deal on freeze dryers. They have Black Friday deal. They say it's their lowest deal of the year, but I mean, I never know when someone says that. But you can put in a deposit. What's it called? A down payment for a layaway for it. And I think it's $250. Might be $200. I don't remember, but I just made a payment on it, and they were able to lower the price that I did have it at to this sale price. So if you haven't done that yet and you want to do that, I would do it now. If you have already done that and you're on the program for layaway, you can have them, if you contact them, you can have them reduce your sale price to the current sale. So that's something good to know. I think they also have a free, I think if you go to the website, there's, oh, thank you, Verna, for putting that link. Verna just posted to the Harvest Right link. I think they also have a giveaway going on right now. I already put my name in for it, but I think they do on their website too. So that's something. I mean, hey, might as well, right? Ed says, yes, start your layaway for freeze dryer. And Verna says they also have a giveaway always. I didn't know they did it always. I just knew they did it right now. They were supposed to have drawn the winner on the 10th. Yes, they did. And I forget his name. It is a guy. You get emailed who the winner is. I don't remember his name, but somebody won. Ed says, yes, someone in my state just won freeze dryer from them. Yeah. So anyway, that is something that you guys should check out if you're interested in that at all. I mean, at least sign up for the drawing, right? So, all right, I am going to eat some dinner. And I hope all of you had fun. I think this was a good conversation tonight. You guys are always fun. Yeah. So I hope we all have a great week. Tomorrow's video is going to be the no waste feeder that was our final product of all that time and all those different iterations. And there's a whole bunch more that I didn't even put in the video on Sunday. So there's a lot of steps in between there that you guys aren't even seeing. But there will be a video for the final product and how I designed it. And it's really working out great. So that's the video for tomorrow. And I hope you guys have a great time. We will see you next week. Same time, same channel. And let's see, there's some other comments here. Oh, yeah. So freeze dryer, harvest right. You get mixed up because Harvest Guard is the lids, canning lids, and Harvest Right is the freeze dryer. They're gonna contact people directly. Yeah. Aaron says, nice chatting tonight. Ed Got Bait says, good night all. And Verna says, have a blessed week, everyone. Thank you for watching. And you can share this with people and let people know this is happening. We'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.